Do you remember the last time you woke up with an erection in the morning? It seems like a simple, even silly question, but the answer may be more serious than you imagine. What if I told you that the absence of this natural, silent, and involuntary phenomenon could be a sign that your prostate is collapsing without you realizing it? Does it seem exaggerated? Well, it isn't. Many men spend years ignoring this detail of their own body, thinking it is just tiredness, the stress of the previous day, or age approaching. But what if it's a cry for help that your body is trying to send you? A silent warning that something inside, something deep, is out of place? Are you about to discover a problem that there is still time to treat? Or are you already living with an invisible enemy that can destroy your male health without giving you the chance to defend yourself? In this video, I will reveal to you why the absence of morning erections may be directly linked to your prostate. And make no mistake, we're not just talking about desire, libido, or performance. We are talking about a clinical biological sign that may indicate that your prostate is inflamed, is poorly irrigated, or is being interfered with by something much more serious than you imagine. Maybe you think everything is fine, that you feel strong, willing, and that there is nothing to worry about. But what if your body is hiding something from you? What if the first visible sign is exactly this, the lack of erection when waking up? How many men have ignored this and only discovered too late what was going on inside? What you will learn here is unlike anything that has ever been said before. We go far beyond myths and shallow explanations. I'm going to show you what can really be happening to your body when your morning wood disappears, and why it can be directly linked to serious prostate problems. This channel was created with one purpose: to prevent you from discovering prostate problems when it is too late. Sign up now, because here you will have access to vital information to protect your men's health. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you're about to hear could give you the chance to take precautions before it's too late. And now, I want to show you the first hidden and scary reason that could be behind the lack of morning erection. Ignoring the silence of your own body can be the most expensive mistake a man makes. Sometimes, not feeling anything is exactly the worst of the symptoms. The absence of pain, discomfort, or any obvious sign can give a false feeling that everything is fine. But the body doesn't scream all at once. He whispers first. And one of those whispers is the loss of erection at dawn. You may think it's just a detail, but in medicine, details save lives. Many men only realize that something is wrong when the problem has already become a nightmare. And do you know why? Because they didn't pay attention to the small signs, the ones that seem too insignificant to be worth paying attention to. Your intimate health is a reflection of something much bigger: your vitality, your blood circulation, the condition of your prostate. And when that starts to fail, it's like a red light going on inside you. Don't wait for this light to become an alarm. This channel was created with one purpose: to prevent you from discovering prostate problems when it is too late. Sign up now, because here you will have access to vital information to protect your men's health. Have you ever noticed how our body tries to talk to us all the time? He sends signals, gives warnings, drops clues, but most men simply ignore it. And when we talk about prostate health, this negligence can be very costly. Now think with me. You woke up and, for the third, fourth, or fifth time in a row, no erection in the morning. You try not to think about it too much. Pretend it's tiredness, stress, age, anything. But deep down, something bothers you, and you're right. This could actually be a sign that your prostate is crying out for help. Let's simplify it as much as possible so that anyone can understand. When you sleep, your body goes into repair and regeneration mode. And if everything is working properly, circulation, hormones, nervous system, and yes, the prostate, morning erections happen naturally, without effort. It does not depend on sexual desire. It is an automatic signal from your body showing that everything is in order. It's as if there were a green light going on down there saying, "We're working." Now, when that light doesn't come on, something is wrong. And one of the main culprits could be the prostate. More specifically, abnormal enlargement of the prostate. And here comes a point that few people know. When the prostate begins to grow uncontrollably, it puts pressure on delicate structures that are directly linked to penile blood circulation. This tightness hinders the flow of blood to the penis, and without enough blood, there is simply no erection, not in the morning nor at any other time. And you know what's scarier? This could all be happening without pain, without fever, without burning, without anything. In other words, you could be walking around, apparently well, but with your prostate swelling silently and letting you know this every day due to the absence of your morning erection. And when the problem isn't the size of the prostate, it could be inflammation. An inflamed prostate generates a type of internal stress in your body, and this stress directly interferes with the production of testosterone, which is the hormone that, among many functions, is responsible for maintaining sexual desire, virility, and yes, spontaneous erections. Now tell me, how are you going to maintain your potency if testosterone is low? And how will you produce testosterone if your prostate is compromised, inflamed, or silently suffering? It's a chain reaction that starts with a small detail and ends with serious consequences. This is why ignoring the lack of erection when you wake up is a mistake, a dangerous mistake. And we're not just talking about sex. We are talking about health, of your health. Because the truth is harsh, but it needs to be said. Many men only realize they have a prostate tumor when it has already spread, when it's too late, when treatment options dwindle, when fear turns to despair. And all of this could have been avoided if back then they had paid attention to something apparently simple, the lack of morning erection. Now stop for a minute and reflect. When was the last time you woke up with an erection? And how many times have you let this go by thinking it was normal? How many times have you thought it was nothing? Well, I tell you with all due respect, maybe that's all. Perhaps this is the quietest scream your prostate is making, and you're ignoring it. Therefore, what I ask of you now is simple. Listen to what your body is trying to tell you. If this subject moved you, it is a sign that your conscience is awakening, and that is a positive thing. You're not here for nothing. You made it to this video because deep down, something inside you knows you can't keep putting it off any longer. And I want to encourage you to use this to your advantage. If you felt that this content spoke directly to you, I want to invite you now to leave a comment with the phrase, "My body will no longer be ignored." This will show me that you are committed to your health and that you understand the importance of paying attention to these signs. Also take the opportunity to like this video. This really helps the channel to continue bringing this type of vital information to men like you, and share with a friend, sibling, or relative who may also be ignoring this same signal. It could be that this simple attitude of yours will save a life. Few people imagine, but the brain and prostate are more connected than we think. That's right. There is a silent bridge that connects what you feel emotionally with what happens inside your prostate. It's as if your mental state is constantly influencing, squeezing, accelerating, or blocking the functioning of this very important gland. And the scariest thing is that this can directly affect your morning erection, that vital sign that all is well with your male health. Imagine a power plant as if it were a battery. If it is charged, everything works. If it's weak, nothing lights up. This is how your brain acts in the production of hormones that regulate the prostate and erection. But here comes the great invisible enemy, chronic stress. When a man is constantly under pressure, worried, anxious, angry, afraid, or frustrated, the brain begins to release substances that unbalance the entire hormonal system. And this imbalance directly affects the prostate, because the prostate needs a stable environment to function well. She is sensitive to cortisol, which is the stress hormone. The more cortisol in the blood, the greater the risk of silent inflammation within the prostate. Inflammation that little by little destroys your health without showing any external signs. Here comes the domino effect. This inflammation affects the sensitivity of the nerves responsible for automatic erections at night and at dawn. And without this active sensitivity, there is no stimulus for the penis to react. Result, you wake up without any erection, neither weak nor strong, nothing. And this is when many men remain silent. They pretend everything is fine, but inside the body is screaming. The prostate is asking for help, but no one is listening. Another important detail: the lack of restful sleep also enters this vicious circle. When you sleep poorly, the brain cannot produce dopamine, serotonin, and especially melatonin, which are essential substances for male hormonal regulation. Poor sleep directly affects testosterone production, and without enough testosterone, your prostate suffers. And if she suffers, the morning erection disappears. And you know what's saddest? Many men think this is all normal as they age, that it is natural to lose morning erections. But it's not. Getting older is not synonymous with getting sick. Getting older does not mean living with an inflamed prostate. The problem is not age. It's in the way you are taking care of, or failing to take care of, your mental and emotional health. If you keep swallowing anger, if you keep everything inside, if you are always anxious, worried, if you live in a fast pace, your prostate feels it, and sooner or later she will charge you. The lack of an erection when waking up is the first warning, and this warning needs to be taken seriously. Think about it with me. How many times have you said, "I'm too tired to think about that right now"? How many times have you missed small signs because you thought it would get better on its own? But health does not improve alone. She needs attitude, need decision. It needs you to stop everything and say, "That's enough. Now I'm going to pay attention to what my body is trying to tell me." Because ignoring this warning could cost you much more than a morning without an erection. It can cost you control of your life, your trust, and even your ability to love fully. Maybe you're listening to this right now with a lump in your throat, remembering the last few days you woke up and nothing happened. Maybe you're trying to find excuses. But look, if you've gotten this far, it's because you've already taken the first step. You're looking for information, and information is what saves. But only if it becomes action, only if you do something with what you just learned. Therefore, I want to ask you something simple but powerful. Comment below the phrase, "I will no longer ignore my body's signals." This sentence is a commitment, a silent vote between you and your health, a reminder that you care, and that already puts you ahead of most men. Also enjoy and share this video with someone you love, a brother, a father, a friend, someone who may be suffering in silence, without understanding why they lost their morning erections. You could be the missing link to open that person's eyes. After everything you've seen so far, one thing should be very clear. Your body never talks for nothing. Every sign he gives, no matter how small it may seem, is like a cry for help, an alert that appears in the hope that you stop, observe, and take action before it is too late. And when we talk about men's health, especially prostate health, this care needs to be doubled, because unfortunately, most men still choose to ignore the warnings, pretend that everything is fine, and only seek help when the situation has already worsened. The absence of a morning erection may seem like just a matter of age, stress, or even tiredness. But as you learned here, it can be much more than that. It can be a silent warning that your prostate is suffering, that something inside is asking for attention, asking for care, asking for help. And the good news is that if you've made it this far, it's because you've already taken the first step. He has already demonstrated that he is different from most, who is willing to inform himself, to take care of himself, to prevent before curing. Maybe you're feeling relieved that you finally understand the connection between these signs and your prostate health. Or maybe you're scared, reflecting on how many times you've ignored your body's warnings. Whatever your case, the most important thing is what you will do from now on, because information alone doesn't change anything. What changes your life is action. It's about taking everything you learned here and transforming it into practical decisions. Scheduling an appointment with the urologist, taking your routine exams, changing habits that are affecting your health, and above all, continuing to seek knowledge. You don't have to wait until you feel pain to seek help. You don't need to wait for a serious diagnosis to change your lifestyle. The true strong man is the one who takes care of himself, who anticipates, who values himself. And that's why this channel exists, to remind you that your health is worth more than any excuse, to show that preventing yourself is an act of self-love, that taking care of your prostate is also taking care of your virility, your energy, your quality of life, your family. If today you understand the importance of listening to your body's signals and looking more carefully at your health, then you have already taken a giant step towards a longer, safer, and happier life. And believe me, this is a choice that only you can make for yourself. No one else will enter the doctor's room in your place. No one will take the exams in your place. And no one will suffer the consequences for you if you choose to ignore the warnings. Therefore, reflect fondly on everything you learned here. Talk to a doctor. Book that appointment you've been putting off. Talk to the men in your family. Encourage your friends. Let's break this silence that delays diagnoses and so often costs lives. Your prostate health may be at risk, but you still have time to act. You can still avoid the worst. If you've made it this far, congratulations. This shows that you really care about your health and want to avoid problems before it's too late. I want to invite you to leave a comment saying that you watched the full video so that I can get to know you and know who is really committed to taking care of their own men's health. Also, check now if you are already subscribed to the channel. If not yet, click the subscribe button. And if this video made sense to you, if it touched your heart or opened your eyes to something important, like it right now and share it with other men. You can save lives with a simple gesture. And to continue learning and protecting yourself, click now on the special playlist I left for you. Most men only realize that something is wrong with their prostate when it's too late. In the first pinned comment, I left a link to a playlist that can prevent this from happening to you. Watch now before it's too late.